LeBron has finally made up his mind, Dibs. Finally. On one hand, it's a good thing because it's over. The LeBron decision, part 4, is over. The bad thing, though, is that he chose the Philadelphia 76ers. He signed a 2-year deal, second year as a player option, $8 million in total. That's the vet minimum, LeBron James, to go to Philadelphia, of all places.
I mean, Philadelphia and the old Philadelphia Freedom was a song, I think it was Elton John, and LeBron signing for $4 million a year is basically like him playing for free. I'm glad you're playing this, and bring it up a little bit, Costa. For those of you on the YouTube chat, it is the Ska-da-da. It's the Rocky theme. And so the news breaks, and actually you kind of broke the news for me. I wasn't really on Twitter at that point. And I think you said, Grandy, like, LeBron to Philly, and then wow. And so I immediately went and queued up the entire soundtrack from Rocky. And so my wife is working out in the garage. We have a Peloton treadmill. And she comes in and she says, "What are you listening to?" And I said, "Ska-da-da-da-da, ska-da-da." I said, "I'm listening to the entire Rocky soundtrack." And she looked at me like, "Why?" And I said, "LeBron's going to Philadelphia." And she's like, "Whatever."
So you won't watch LeBron's documentary, but you'll listen to the Rocky soundtrack when LeBron signs in Philly.
Yeah, I listen to the Rocky soundtrack probably twice a year in totality. And like, this is obviously the iconic song, that we all know.
Training montage.
If you go all the way through it, and I think it's Bill Conti, who is the composer of the entire...
Not me, I don't know.
Oh, who cares?
I mean, seriously, if you let the dibber eat a little bit here, I'll tell you, this soundtrack is phenomenal. And this, of course, the iconic song. So I listened to the whole thing, and my wife basically said, "You have problems." And I said, "I know, but da-da-da-ska-da-da-da-da-da." Anyway, yes, LeBron is going to Philly.
He's a 76er.
And he did the whole thing wrong. And I said this a week ago or 2 weeks ago, like, you put on the Apollo Creed outfit, you run the Rocky steps, and that's how you announce you're going to Philly. You don't just have Rich Paul from,
Club Sports. We're done.
Okay, I get it. You don't have, like, Shams break it on Twitter. Whatever, he did it wrong.
He announced it on Twitter, had a whole long string of tweets that he put out from his personal account, typos included, saying why he went to Philly. Family, not important in this decision, not about money. It was about trying to win a championship, so he is a Philadelphia 76er. Speaking of Philadelphia, we have a caller out in Philly, 888-957-9570 if you want to join the conversation. And the rest of this show, the next 2 hours and 8 minutes, is for you. No guest. It's just for you to talk about what this decision makes you feel. 888-957-9570. Rob in Philly is up next. What's up, Rob?
Hey, thanks for the intro. I appreciate it.
Of course.
It's a good day for me.
Are you you're a 76er fan?
Yes, Philly, all Philly sports. We're loyal over there.
So why are you calling? I mean, we'll always take your call, but why are you calling us, Rob?
So I actually live in Ocean Beach now.
Oh,
Just took a job. Been listening to your guys' sports radio for the past. I moved in about a month and a half ago, and I love you guys. I love the game.
Well, we appreciate that. So how fired up are you that LeBron is a 76er?
I ran out of my house this morning shirtless, screaming up and down the beach block. If anyone was running around OB, they probably saw me, like, calling my dad, my brother, like, "Oh, we did it. We did it. The last piece."
And is it championship or bust now? You won't be happy with anything less than that?
Absolutely. I mean, even if he signed elsewhere, like here with the Dubs or with the Heat or with the Cavs, they were still going to end up losing to the Sixers, in my opinion. Like, I don't want to be that guy, an annoying Philly guy, but I feel like this is the best roster we've had, especially with Embiid. And even if Embiid only plays half the season like it typically does, this is our best shot. Kind of the best team we have, even if you take Embiid in and out of that lineup.
All right. Well, Rob, we appreciate the call. We're glad that you're enjoying it out here. And I know you were saying you don't want to sound like a obnoxious Philly guy, but it kind of is what happens when you're from Philly, Dibs. It just kind of is natural, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's kind of your nature, I think, no matter what's going on. And I love the fact that he went tarps off today, and when he gets the news, tarps off, let's run around, let's go crazy, because, I mean, you got LeBron James. Now, when you get a chance to sober up, Philly fan, you're going to realize that Joel Embiid doesn't usually play a lot of basketball, and LeBron James is 41, and Edgecombe, great start to his career. I don't even know if the fit, though, with Tyrese Maxey and LeBron is going to work. And Jaylen Brown, we don't know.
Jaylen Brown, ball dominant. Jaylen Brown.
And Tyrese Maxey, ball dominant. LeBron James, he likes to have the ball. And then Joel Embiid, what's he going to do? So when you look at the names on paper and you do the basketball reference with the stats of all of it, I do think that you go, wow, what a bunch of talented guys. But it's all about the fit.
Yeah. I mean, I read a statistic. I saw it on Twitter earlier today, and it was just from the starting five, their theoretical starting five of Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, LeBron, and Embiid, their usage percentage last year, so the number of possessions with which the possession ends, like with them, it adds up, just the five of them, it adds up to like 150%. So somebody's getting, peeled back from their opportunities, and a pretty big chunk is getting peeled back.
Well, unless you go to a two-ball basketball in the NBA. I don't think that's how it works. I don't know if that is how it works. But, yeah, absolutely ball dominant. And so it just makes you wonder how that's actually going to fit. Like the Joel Embiid piece, he doesn't always play because he's not always healthy. And the Jaylen Brown, though, that's the one where, he's now free. And when Jason Tatum was out for the majority of this year, that's when he thrived because it was his team. And
that's why his usage was so high last year specifically.
Right, but Tyrese Maxey, I think similarly, because Embiid was out and now Edgecombe is really starting to feel himself and come into his own. So I just wonder how the personalities and, the need to have the basketball, how that's going to work for Philly.
888-957-9570 if you want to weigh in. LeBron is a 76er, signed a 2-year deal, player option for the second year to join the 76ers. $4 million per year. That is the vet minimum that LeBron is playing on, and he said this will be his last decision, which I suppose means he's going to retire as a 76er. Do you blame the Warriors for not getting something done to get LeBron in here? Do you blame LeBron? Are you mad at LeBron for maybe stringing the Warriors along? What do you feel, Warrior fans? 888-957-9570. Joel is in Modesto and wants to weigh in. What's up, Joel?
Le 76er, Le Team Hopper, Fake Lego, L.A. Bron. Got so many nicknames for that coward, First of all, I have no respect for him, man. Like, in my eyes, he's never the GOAT. And number two, I just don't think it's going to work. You got 5 ball-dominant players, Maxey, Joel, Jaylen Brown, and now LeBron. I just don't think that's a good fit. And I know for a fact it's not going to work. The only way it's going to work is that someone has to come off the bench. Like, either LeBron has to come off the bench. I don't know if his ego will accept that, or Maxey. But if you make Maxey come off the bench, now you're stunning his growth, who's a superstar, and every year is going to keep on growing. And do we trust Joel Embiid? Every year he's missing 40, 50, 60 games a year. And how is that going to affect Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown, without Tatum, he took that next level. His usage rate was at an all-time high. His numbers went up, his stats went up, and he was looking like, for me, I thought he was the MVP of last year, to be honest. But I just don't think it's a great fit. The only way it's going to work is that egos is going to have to, they're going to have to get together and say, you know what, let's try to make this happen. But that starting 5, especially with LeBron, he's not a good defender anymore. And most definitely, it will not work out. And
can you? Man, I wanted him to run through those nicknames again because he rattled off like 4 or 5 straight. Like,
Did you say the fake Legoat?
The fake Legoat was one of them. I was just wondering if he made that all up on the spot. Probably not. If he has like a running list of nicknames and whatnot, but that's all right. I'd say call back and run more of that material, but I think we have enough.
Yeah, we got a lot from you. We're there.
Good.
And look, it might work. It might not work in Philly. That's not something that I'm really thinking about much right now. I just wonder where this leaves the Warriors. And where do the Warriors go from here, Dibs? Because it feels like they're just kind of stuck in neutral, and maybe not even neutral. Maybe they're stuck in reverse. They don't have places to turn to. I hear so many Warrior fans and see so many Warrior fans on on social media, whether it's, on our text line, on our YouTube chat, that just will say they weren't even willing to do 2 first-round picks for Anthony Davis, and it really would have been 2 first-round picks for Anthony Davis and LeBron. And instead of doing that, you're wasting the end of Steph Curry's career. Wow, what just a terrible, terrible decision by the front office. And look, I hear your frustration. I'm upset too. I wanted LeBron here. But we have to, I think, live in at least a bit of reality. And the reality for the Warriors was, because the main money piece going out to get a star like Anthony Davis in would have to be an injured Jimmy Butler, the Wizards aren't doing that for 2 first-round picks. And if LeBron was so dead set on playing with Anthony Davis, he probably would have waited to make his decision until an Anthony Davis decision was made. And you know what that means? An Anthony Davis decision probably was made. Either the Warriors realize there's no chance the Wizards want to trade him or trade him to us specifically, or the Warriors had no interest in doing it in the first place. So I still think that the Warriors were legitimately an option for LeBron, Dibs. It's just we have to live in this reality where the trade isn't so simple. You can say it's just 2 firsts and Jimmy, deal done, over. Now LeBron's the Warrior. It would have cost the Warriors, I'm sure, so much more than that.
And I think that we've all kind of made this whole thing up. Like, it's make-believe. I don't know if LeBron really wants to play with Anthony Davis. I don't think that Washington wants to trade Anthony Davis. I don't believe that the Warriors want to acquire Anthony Davis. So we've all had this make-believe narrative of you get Anthony Davis and then LeBron just comes running right away. I don't see that. I mean, looking back, and you can reverse engineer it and you could see it now where if LeBron really wanted to your point, play with Anthony Davis, then he would go to Washington. I think that they have $4 million a year that they could pay him, or LeBron could have waited it out and the Warriors could have acquired Anthony Davis and then LeBron would have come running. I think that has become totally like mythology as we look at this LeBron situation. I don't know if that was ever a part of anything. And I do believe 2 things. One, Washington does not want to trade Anthony Davis. I could be wrong. They could deal him here if August 6th comes and they don't extend him. They might deal him. But the other piece is the Warriors want that optionality, Grandy, and you love it.
I love the optionality.
The Warriors did not want to give up a lot of their future for Anthony Davis with the hope that LeBron would come. And Anthony Slater says the Warriors have been out for a couple of weeks now. So all of this, I believe, has been complete make-believe, like the monster under your bed.
Yeah, you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, an Odyssey Sports Station, and the home of the Golden State Warriors and Valkyries, always live on the free Odyssey app, coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Out to the phones we go once again. Again, the rest of this show, it's for you guys. If you want to weigh in, give us a call, shoot us a text, 888-957-9570. Up next is Robin in Berkeley. What's up, Robin? You're on Willard and Dibs and Grandy today. What do you got?
Hey there. I want to compliment Dibs on his brilliant summary of the LeBron documentary. Yuck.
Thank you.
Can you imagine being in that locker room? Step aside for the LeBron camera crew, everybody. So I think everything about LeBron is antithetical to the Warriors team culture. I'd rather lose than have that change that culture. And my Jimmy Butler is going to come back with a vengeance. And if you contrast the way Jimmy came in with the way LeBron would come in, Jimmy was totally humble, fit right in, worked with Steph. I just don't want to see it overshadowed by a LeBron. So thank you very much, and go Dibs.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Robin.
that. Yeah. Antithetical might be a little bit too spicy for our audience, but, it basically the antithesis. It's the opposite. Yeah, but I mean, you're a highly educated person, Grandy. And,
not highly.
Some of us, kind of struggle with that.
A degree from Oregon. That anyone could do that.
Whatever. I mean, show up with a pulse, like,
Exactly.
Your final exam was, it involves a stethoscope.
It's like a 70% acceptance rate, Dibs. It's not hard.
And that's the same as my schools, all the state schools, Cal State Northridge, San Francisco State, Cal State San Francisco.
But I was right about soliloquize being a word.
You were. Go ahead and score. Put that one on the board. Shout out, I guess, is Windsor its own school district, or are you guys part
Windsor
of Santa Rosa?
Unified School District.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So shout out
Windsor High.
Yeah, that is a stat. But I kind of agree with that part of it of if Steph and Draymond didn't mind the whole circus, I guess it would be fine. But it's going to be a circus no matter where LeBron goes.
Of course it's going to be a circus. But the one thing, and I appreciate the call, Robin, the one thing that I disagree with is I'd rather lose than change the culture or whatever, or maybe like bring someone in that you think might threaten the culture. One, I don't think LeBron is at this stage of his career, given, you know, the amount of money that he's making and the clubhouses, the locker rooms that he's entering. I don't think he's going to be like this crazy, overbearing, leaning into the front office, telling them what to do kind of personality anymore. And maybe I'm misguided. That is absolutely possible. But I don't view LeBron as like this negative energy guy that comes in and just ruins the vibe for everybody at this point of his career. But even if he was, I want to do what I think it takes to win and what makes them as good as possible and what helps Steph as much as possible. And the names that we threw out there as realistic potential targets, even semi-realistic targets for the Warriors, Rui Hachimura, Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton, Marcus Smart, those kind of guys, who has bigger impact? Any of those guys or LeBron James? It's LeBron even at age 42. So I'm willing to make some sacrifices to get LeBron in here. Now, ultimately, I didn't have to come to grips with that because he didn't choose here anyway. But I thought it was the most straightforward, simple path for the Warriors to improve the most this offseason. And it took him having to decide to come here, and he just didn't decide to come here. So now the Warriors are right back at square one.
And how do you improve now between where you are with no LeBron and what you're trying to do come October when camp starts?
Great question.
And I don't know if it's
the question now.
And if you think about who is still out there, and even if you could afford all these people, like Russell Westbrook is going to be a no. That's not a basketball fit, in my opinion. DeMar DeRozan is interesting. He's a guy who, even though he's coming up on being 34, 35.
I think older than that, I think.
But he plays. Like, he's available all the time. I think he was in Steph's draft class, so you're probably
He'll
right.
Be 37 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but he's a guy who plays a lot of games, and he doesn't have a long injury history. And I think that he might be the best fit out there as far as, you know, free agents who are somebody who can impact you. But beyond that, you're looking at more incremental, marginal ads.
Yeah. 888-957-9570 is the number. Plenty more time to squeeze in a bunch of calls here for the next couple of hours. This is a special one for you, Dibs. It's Brian in Palo Alto who wants to talk about LeBron and the Warriors swinging and missing on another. BPA, go ahead. Talk to Dibs.
Yeah, I think that you talk about make-believe before, and all of this is a make-believe world of their own making, in my opinion. So they're the ones that planted the Giannis rumors 1,000 times. They're the ones that planted the LeBron rumors, right? And how we're holding our picks, we're stashing our picks for Giannis, right? How many years was that floated? And that was the justification for doing nothing, or almost nothing, to improve the team or improve the roster over almost a half a decade period. And so now we're here and it's over. And Steph and Draymond, I'd love to see them play meaningful basketball, and they should do it with organizations that are actually trying still to be meaningful and to play meaningful basketball. And the Warriors have given up, and Joe Lacob's transition to Jerry Jones Lacob is complete. Joe, that's who you are now. And I know that you don't have the guts to come out and face your fans and talk to them, because none of us are particularly happy right now, and you'll hide behind, I don't know, maybe some leaks from Kirk or Kent or whoever else. But yeah, that's where it's at. I'd love to see Steph play some meaningful basketball. It won't be here.
Would you rather have him play? I'm sorry, BP. I hate to cut you off. Would you rather have him play meaningful basketball somewhere else or play meaningless basketball here?
I would rather him play meaningful basketball someplace else. And at this point, he should ask out, because it's come to that point, right? When the organization's no longer trying, and the most talented person in your front office is Mike Dunleavy Jr., that's an organization that's given up, right? And you look at Bob Myers today making this deal and making it happen is a reminder of all the talent that once was in this front office that's no longer here. So it is that stark. It's over. Steph and Draymond should get the hell out of town, because, Joe, Jerry Jones Lacob, whatever you want to call him, and his flunky sons, they've stone cold given up, and they're out of ideas. Have a good day, guys.
Love
Thanks,
you, babe.
BPA.
Thanks for calling. Don't be a stranger. Yeah, BPA.
What do you
I'm
think?
not scared.
About
It's over. The front office isn't even trying. He's comparing Joe Lacob to Jerry Jones. They're out of ideas. They're not even trying. I disagree with the. They're trying. I think their efforts and their energy has been misguided. I think they're putting their eggs in baskets they should not be putting their eggs in, and they're putting all of their eggs in these baskets. I would agree with that generally, but I also know just how difficult the situation is for them right now. We have the benefit of looking back on all these things that they've done, and you could say, well, they should have done this, they should have done that. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I do think there's a lot of Warrior fans that feel the way that Brian in Palo Alto does, which is that this front office is just kind of running in circles right now, and they don't have anywhere to turn.
I think that the one thing that he invoked is the idea of Jerry Jones and Joe Lacob. That is something that I think a lot of fans are concerned about, and that's where you go back to the Wiseman pick and the Kuminga pick and the idea of two timelines, which is something that Joe Lacob, I don't believe, ever said in that way, but it was clear that they were trying to create a future with younger people who were projects while also trying to maximize the Steph Curry window, and it backfired. And I don't know just how involved Joe Lacob was and is in all these draft picks, but the optics of this year's draft, where he's basically animated in telling Mike Dunleavy, make the pick, the fact that he is front and center in that process and in that moment, it does give fans a certain feeling of maybe you are overly involved. And that's kind of what we think about Jerry Jones with the Dallas Cowboys, where you're not a football guy. I mean, he played football at Arkansas a lifetime ago, but it doesn't mean that you know talent and you are an evaluator and you should be making these picks. And I think that a lot of fans look at this situation and they see Joe Lacob being more involved than they probably think he should be.
Yeah.